live. What's up? It's a nice guitar, except for the crack. It's actually more than that. We'll get into it, but yeah, you know what? There's just so many of these available that I don't have to settle for one that has less than perfect, stuff. So it wasn't new; it was used. What's up, Ben? The Coomster. Got Ripley. Got Carl. We got Strat Tom. Landon Bailey. What's up, buddy? Star Guitar Works. Ron Padgett. We got Luke's. We got Akata. We have Strat CPO. Mr. 845 in Milford. What's up, wise guy? We got Sean. Yeah, I agree, Green Meanie. I think, you know what I'm saying? It's like there's no shortage of these guitars. It's not like it's something where you're like, well, good luck finding another one. There's 1,000 places I can get this guitar. It's like I don't need like this particular guitar, But I have to say, I do love it. I love everything about it. It's really, really my first Schecter. I've never had a Schecter before. Now, I don't know if this is indicative of their entire line because this is the Super Shredder, and I'm assuming it's got they say it's like a really small neck, right? They call it like a thin C, and I agree, it's nice. I mean, it's not, no one gets Wizard Thin. It's close, though. This is as close to Wizard Thin as it, felt out there. This is a great neck profile. I really, really like the neck on this. I guess they make another one called Ultra Thin, and you wonder if that's the Wizard, thickness. But it's a great guitar, except this particular guitar just has issues. What's up, Cushman? Carl W., Jason, Carl McQuitty, Metal Theater, Dan of NJ, Yeti Matzi, BC Rich, Vince Salutari, or Salutari, yeah, I think I said that right. We have Krena Siku Guitar. What's up, Trolls? What's up, Michael D? The 550, RG 550 is the thinnest I've ever played. Yeah, the 550 and those first year 550s and 560s were about the same. But yeah, I agree. That's pretty much it. In the blues, what's up? That's for you, Shane. Steve from Boston just pre-ordered that guitar. Yeah, I ordered mine. I said, you know what? I'm going to do a video on this. I'm going to do a video about the Sustainiac. I'm going to do a video about, all this stuff. And the next day. I ordered this last Saturday, and they didn't ship it till Monday, and I got it on Thursday. The next day, Sunday, Phil McKnight comes out with a video, the identical color and everything. I'm like, you bastard! How does that happen? Oh, my God! Needs more sustain. Yeah. You know what? I almost like this guitar. It's just its lack of sustain. Yeah. It's a great guitar, except for, like I said, this particular guitar has condition issues. So it came from Illinois. And was it Illinois or Indiana? Might have been Indiana. And yeah, it might have been Indiana, now that I think about it. And it like one of the first things I noticed, it's in great shape head to toe. There's not a scratch on it. You know, it's really clean. It still has stickers on it, you know, for the most part. It's fine. But what I noticed is that you could really, you know, kind of sharp edges. You could really feel those edges sort of poking out a little bit. Getting a little pokey. I was like, well, that's easy enough because it has the, you know, the ebony, you know, you can just put a little edge file on that and take those down pretty easily. And then a couple of rounds with the, polishing pads. You know, you go from like 600 grit to like 12,000 grit. And it's like brand new, right? You'd never even tell that a file had hit it. So it's like, you know, maybe that's what I'll do. You know, I'll just clean this up. And then I noticed I was going those two notes. Right. Buzzy. Getting a buzz. And I was like, oh, well, that's not right. And so I started to look down the neck, and it was pretty straight. You know? It didn't really have much relief in it. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I can just loosen the fret to bring the action up just a hair by just loosening it. So I went to the old Spin-O-Matic right there to loosen it. And it was kind of frozen and looked a little tilted. I was like, and I didn't really want to force the issue. And then if you saw in the thumbnail, I noticed the crack, and the crack is right above the truss rod. And that tells me someone went to town with this truss rod somehow. And truss rod issue plus crack in fretboard plus jutting sides return. fails to meet my eco needs. So it's going back. Now that said, I am smitten with the guitar. And the other thing is the bridge. See that? It's loose. It needs some Loctite. There's a bolt that goes up through the bottom to hold the whole mechanism in. And those loosen up over time because you're working the whammy bar and you're rocking it back and forth. And over time, you work the bolt out. I mean, it's actually pretty common. So what do? You throw a little bit of blue Loctite on it and you screw it back up. And the Loctite, you don't use the red. You don't want it permanent, but you want the blue so you can work on it later. And that usually works pretty well, right? And sort of locks it in there. So I was going to do that. I have some blue Loctite. I figured next time I change the strings, I'll pull the bridge off. And I'll just take that whole assembly out and I'll get that done. I'll put it back in. But I'm not doing that. It's like between the bridge and everything else, I was like, no. You've officially been put in the no pile. So it's going back. It's definitely going back. 94 in Arizona. You can keep it. This is I'm gonna guess Indonesia. Indonesia. Yeah. Indo baby. Indo chronic. And of course it has this super, the super cool stuff. There's the high frequency, and then just the note sustain, and then the combo. It's fun. You just do that all day, right? Just nothing but fun. It's fun. We like to have fun. That's what we do. We just like to have fun around here. And what's weird is when the sustainer's off, the volume knob, the neck pickup is just on. Volume knob doesn't. Oh, no, wait. Then it becomes 2 volumes? So there's no tone knob? Yeah, that's it. So when the switch goes, so here's the neck pickup. When the sustainer's on, much thicker. Sustainer off. Sustainer on. Sustainer off. It's like humbucker to single coil, I was just minding my bargain. I bought it. I bought it off a Guitar Center used, so they sell for like $800, and I got it for $250 less than that with a case. They don't come with a case, and so I'm like, well, that's pretty good. You get a hard shell case. It's not a Schecter hard shell case. I didn't even know it was going to come with a case. The guy threw a case in, and I was like, well, that's pretty awesome. Thank you, much appreciated. But And I loved it. I was like, oh, the trem's a little loose. I can fix that. Oh, the fret's a little sprouted. I can fix that. Then the fretboard's cracked. You're going back. When you cracked, Jack. Then you're going back, no more, no more, no. Yeah, guitars in the used can be great, but you get stuff like that once in a while. And you can't even really see it. You could see it in the thumbnail. I made sure you could. But like right there, you know, it's not super apparent, you know? But it's still enough. And I don't like a non-working truss rod. I'd send it back for that alone. Exactly, this guitar has a serious crack problem. I'll wake up, it'll be gone, and all my other guitars with it. Sounds more serious than a poly neck crack. Exactly, Landon. Exactly. You know, those. The difference is that this crack is in the wood, and that crack you showed me was in the finish. That's the big difference. This is just straight up ebony. So when you got a crack in the ebony, you've got cracked wood. It's literally right under that dot right there. On crack cam. Guitar Center should have checked this out before shipping. What was the condition listed at? That's a good question. I think it was listed, might have been listed as good, right? And that might have been, they may not have even noticed that. I didn't notice it at first. Quite frankly, I didn't even notice it until I started to work the truss rod. If they took it in and never even really looked at it, I could see them, you know, it's not the whole length of the fretboard. It's only about this far from the bottom of the fretboard, you know. So, you know, it feels like it could go all the way from the bottom to the top, and it's like, I'm not going to find out. Yeah, I think it looks great. I love the guitar. Now they make it in, I think they make it flat black, white, and green, and this is the blue, which is like a robin's egg blue. I love the blue. Let me see if I can call this up. Hold on. Schecter. Yeah, there's she blues. And we just go here, and there you go. Yeah. So I mean, brand new, I could get one for $7.99. So it's like, even though this was, you know, a little cheaper, it's got issues. I'd rather just get a brand new one and bring that one back if it has problems. But I'll tell you, it's the thin C. And look at the, did they show it? Yeah, the nut width, 41.3. That's nice. That's narrow. That's a shred neck right there, brah. No, Guitar Center used doesn't set up their used guitars at all. They might, on a return, like fix something. Like someone will bring something in and be like, you know, this needs to be fixed. You know, and they'll do it. But they, other than that, yeah, it's got the EMG retroactives. Unlike the Harley Benton, these are the retroactive 70s, not the 55s. And then there's the green. I think I like the blue. You know? It's hip dudes with trem bars sticking out of the bar. Yeah, I believe. Hey, see, what's up, Rifster? Remember the Pixie Licks days? Sure. Wasn't that long ago. Let's see, still doing your thing? I am. Still doing it. You know, and then I want to say they might. See, if you get, I like the orange. I don't mind the Lambo orange. Problem is, it doesn't have the Sustainiac, and to me, that's like 99% of the reason. Yeah, this is the other one. So no ebony, you go maple, and it's the matte black or the gloss white with ebony. Geez, that's weird. I thought they were both maple. That's odd. All right. So, okay. Let's narrow this shit down here. They got the Sun Valley Super Shredder, gloss white with ebony, flat black with maple, and then I don't know why they have so many different sections here, right? And then these two, I don't know what the difference is. And you get the green or the blue. I kind of like the blue. Kind of like the blue. So there's another one they make. This one. So again, it has the Sustainiac. Yeah. It's like one of these. That's got too many tuning pegs. I need one with not so many tuning pegs. Yeah, like this. Yeah. No, that's not it though, because it doesn't have the right pickups. That's not it. That's not it, What the hell is it? I dream it? It's got to be this one, and they're just showing the wrong color. Yeah, right. And it's got two different colors. There it is. I was kind of looking at one of those. I thought that was pretty hot. Very similar. This has a same thing as this. It's got, I want to say, is it the EMG Retroactive 70? No? No EMGs on this one? What are these? Huh. Electronics, bridge pickup. Oh, Fishman Fluence. Oh, interesting. So Fishman, instead of the EMG, it's Fishman Fluence Modern with the Sustainiac. Well, that's an interesting combo. Kind of like the look of that. And this is a, geez, they don't really show it. This is a neck through. You know, kind of like the look. You know, there it is in sort of like a faded charcoal. Again, there's your nice little, neck through joint right there. This is that's a bolt on right here. Yeah, so I just never really knew much about Sun Valley. I just go to Sustainiac. Oh, I guess they. Oh, okay. Well, they have a whole page just on Sustainiac. Huh. Interesting. It's a little too. It's a little over the top. Although I gotta say, I kind of like the look of that. Kind of reminds me of a half dozen Ibanez guitars, right? I kind of like the look of that. I gotta say, that's pretty good. Well, matte, the poplar burl. That's kind of got a good look to it. Is that also the Floyd Rose? Yeah, the Floyd Rose 1500, which is, I think, the same as the 1000, except they add more stainless steel parts to it. Right, so tiny upgrade over the Floyd Rose 1000 with the addition of some stainless steel. Stainless steel frets. What do you say? Ultra thin. The one I have now is thin. Imagine how the ultra thin is. What's the... They show the width. It's the same knot width as this, 41.3. Not really seeing anything there. Carbon fiber reinforced rods. And what about the Sun Valley Super Shredder here? Tunisia. Yeah, I'm not seeing those carbon rods. Those might have been helpful on this guitar. Yeah, the extra jumbo frets too. I like that. So like I said, it's a great guitar. I got no problem with the guitar at all. I like the guitar. I just don't like this guitar. So I just got to get this one, exchanged, I think, for one that works. Is that too much to ask? Oh, you want a working guitar, Your Majesty? Carl says he likes the Brill tops. Yeah, I like the Brill tops too. Oh, wait. Hold on, I gotta hit my button here. The D string is the one that never wants to ring out. Really, it's the plain string. Yeah. No, it's fun. Fun stuff. I'm using that Marshall cloney thingy. Kind of like that. I've been using that. I've been favoring that one a bit lately. What's it called? A Brit 87. Channel 1 with a DOD YJM 308 in front of it. Where are you? There you are. Let me get my... Headstock reminds you of the 80s era Hamers. Oh, that reminds me of Kramer. That's Kramer headstock. No, the early Beak years. It's a little bit rounded, but that's bringing that tells me Kramer vibes, right? Because it was a Strat, and all Kramer did was take a bandsaw and cut the knob off. Literally, that's all they did. You know, they had to make do with the stuff they had. They were notoriously cheap. And so that's how the Beak headstock was born. I'm telling you, it is days of fun with this thing. No, that's not Over the Rainbow. That's Over the Top Rainbow. And I just see RJ? I think I might have. Spanish Castleman. What a difference when the Sustainiac. Yeah, exactly. Gospel of Mark. You go for a bite, you'd still be hearing that one. Oh, go. This guy gets it. Exactly. Do a good Top Gun theme with that. Yeah, right. Well, there's a bunch. There's a few songs like didn't the Edge use one? And there's a couple of ones that they use. Like pretty much anything that uses a like an EBO. EBO is kind of similar, not exactly though. EBO can actually, because it's movable, and the way you move it, you can really. It is a little different. Oh, yeah, knocking on your back door, right? Yeah, right. Bum, 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 bum. I can play that on keyboard, but I can't play it on guitar. Yeah, the Edge uses it. Yeah, with or without you. Still the Starbucks and the coffee. That's all they really have now. They've really gotten rid of those blends. My God, that was like a 20-year run, and they ended it. Oh right, Satch, because that's right. You can get a. That's right. You can get a Satriani. Yeah. What is that? They make Yeah. Let's where are you, Joe? Joey Jojo. There he is. I think it's this one. Yeah. Right there, Sustaniac. That's the lower cost one, I think. Right? I want to say made in Indonesia, and this is the... Nope, that doesn't have a Sustaniac. No. There's the Sustaniac. Okay. And it's also made in Japan. Okay, so there's your expensive one. Probably $2,500, I'm going to guess. And there's the lower cost version of it. And I'm probably going to guess $1,000 less. Like $1,500 instead of $2,500. And made in Indonesia instead of Japan. All right. And you can see right there, Sustaniac, which is what this is too. Same thing, Sustaniac. Interesting. Yeah, Sustaniacs found their way into a few different brands. But the two that I always think of are Schechter and Ibanez. Trying to think of who else. Who else had a Sustaniac? I gotta think like ESP. You know what I'm saying? Or LTD. But I don't know. Did Fender use one? Jackson. That makes sense. And Fernandez. That makes sense. Yeah. Jackson, Fernandez. Ed O'Brien. Fender signature, Ed O'Brien, made in Mexico. Okay. I get used to my position on this neck. Why is it going back? Because it has what it feels like a frozen truss rod, and there's a crack at the end of the neck, right under the truss rod, probably caused by the truss rod, and that's enough. That's enough for me. And it's got some other issues. The fret sprout's pretty bad on it, and the trim's a little loose. The trim arm I can fix. The fret sprout I can fix. The cracked fretboard and frozen truss rod, that's a bridge too far. Guitar Works says, Steve, I got my Select Strat, a dealer-only prototype. Yeah, there's a few Select prototypes out there. Now, just out of curiosity, is yours... Because some were and some weren't. Is your stamped prototype? Some of them had a stamp and some of them didn't. But clearly they were prototypes because you literally like a one-off, you know. Be curious if it literally said prototype on it, because sometimes they did. And you know, we have no idea the history of this guitar. It could have been in a very dry environment, which would explain the fret sprout and the cracked fretboard, you know. Because, you know, someone might have like kept it on a stand near a fireplace. It's like, you don't know. And you know, it showed up at Guitar Center. So Guitar Center is really good about taking it back. The second I show them half that stuff, they'll be like, oh, don't even, like, whatever, they'll be fine. Stamped in the wood. So is it stamped into the wood just, again, out of curiosity, on the back of the body, right? It's stamped prototype on the back of the body, or is it on the back of the neck? Again, it kind of varied a little bit. I've seen it both places. I've seen it on the back of the headstock, and I've seen it on the back of the body, where it literally says the word prototype, like stamped right into the back of the body, which is, you know, again, you know you got a prototype, you know. What's up, Steven in Ohio? What's up, David? Hot shot. I got a Fender back in February now. That's Fred Sprout. You live in Southern Cali. Yeah, you could probably get rid of it by just really moistening up the case, but gotta be careful going too moist. You'll get mold. Yeah, that could be a little tricky. With a rosewood fretboard or an ebony fretboard, it's easier because you can just, you know, go down the side with a, you know, with a file and usually get rid of it pretty quickly. Especially if you do it in the driest part of the year, which for us right now is like right now, like single digit relative humidity, because the air is super dry, but it's warming up. This is like our driest part of the year. Or most likely for forest fires and stuff is in the spring. And we haven't had a ton of rain. So it's definitely been dry. Every time I tune in, there's a new guitar. I know, right? Yeah, on the back, on the left horn. Yeah. Now, I've seen that. That's way cool. I've probably seen a half dozen prototypes exactly like that. You know, because they'd come up, you know, the store doesn't know quite what they want. And so Fender throws together a few, take a look at this. What do you think? But they don't want them to sell it, you know, so they market prototype, you know, which is way cool, right? It's total, like, industry insider stuff. Steve, can you bring it back to any location and you have to mail it back if you bought it online? That's the beauty of a Guitar Center. I can go to my local Guitar Center, anyone I want, and I can return it to the store, which is why I buy from them. I buy from every Guitar Center in the world, right? Which is a huge amount of stock, although right now their stock is at historic lows. I've been following Guitar Center used for over 10 years, about 12 years now. I've been following them on pretty much a daily basis. And their stock has never been this low ever. Not even close. Never, ever, 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 ever. In fact, for a good, 9 years or 8 years, they were between 48 and 52,000 items. You'd be lucky if they break 20,000 right now. They got up to about 28, 29,000 around Christmas, but they've dropped precipitously. And it's not like they don't get stuff, because I see them show up and they go. I can't tell you how many guitars I would say, oh my God, check that out. Gone. Like, it just showed up, like, literally within the last few hours because I checked the stock in the morning and it wasn't there. Then you check a few hours later, you're like, oh my God, look at that guitar. Gone. Already gone. You gotta be quick right now. The guitar market is hot. Inventory's down. And I tell you, it's tricky. It's tricky right now if you want a particular guitar. Prices are up, without a doubt, across the board. Guitar Center in North Attleboro is Stone, Soup Bear, yeah, no stock, yeah. But it's not just them, it's not just Guitar Center. Like, I know a lot of people in retail that are suffering. They can't get stock in right now. It's just, there's been all kinds, forget that stupid ship. That wasn't helping. But at least they got that thing free. But there's been, like, all kinds of supply chain issues. RAM prices right now have shot up. In March of 2019, they were, like, for 32 gigs of 26, DDR4 2666, like a Crucial Extreme RAM was like $175, right? Cut to last summer, it's down about $104, right? That's a pretty good drop, It's back up to $176. I saw it go up. Okay, it goes from 104, 114, 128, 138, 149. I'm like, oh God, look at it go. It's right back up again. So there's definitely some supply chain issues going on out there, without a doubt. North Attleboro was always a little lame. I don't know. I went in there like 8 years ago and they had some pretty good stock. Oh my God, like trying to find video cards. I know, oh my God, a friend of mine on Facebook I was laughing. He goes, hey, my son needs a computer at a local builder. He needs like an RTX like 30 something. And I'm just shaking my head going, wow, you really are clueless. Oh, you want an RTX 3070, do you? Is that what you want? You want to have a local builder put that together for? What, you want to throw an AMD CPU in there? Why not? Why don't you throw in like a 5800X? Although those are finally starting to show up. But it's just laughable, like how clueless they are to how void the market is right now. I said, you can put this system together, but I'm telling you right now, dude, you're going to pay about 200 to 250% of MSRP. And he's like, really? I'm like, yeah, everything's way up. RAM prices are up. Everything's up. You can't get those CPU. You can't get a GPU for less than 200, 250% of MSRP. So if you want to buy a friggin' $500 card for $1,000 to $1,200, knock yourself out. But I don't need it that bad. Yeah, and prices are definitely up. So like for a standard Les Paul, like a Les Paul standard, right? They were like between like the classics would be cheaper because they're at retail they're cheaper. Like a brand new classic is $19.99. A brand new standard is $24.99. So you would see the classics for like $13.50, $14.50, $14.99, $15.50. That's pretty standard, right? And a little percentage off of the the new price. And you'd see this for the classics, and then for the standards, and the classic has a really thin neck. I should really take a closer look at the classic. I might like that neck profile the best of all the LPs. But anyway, now what was I saying? The standards, $24.99 new, used, like I don't know, $16.99 if you'd be getting a deal. More like $17.99, $18.99. That's pretty standard for most standards, Now they're all $22.99, $23.99. You can barely get a $200 discount on a Les Paul standard. Because they know the market is desperate out there right now. There's just no stock. There is no stock out there. Really, Krellboy, you're having trouble? I threw my LP. I sold my Les Paul this week. My Les Paul is gone. And I got a really good price for it on Reverb. It took about 5 days, and it was sold. I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow. I said, you know what? Throw up a crazy price, and if someone buys it, great. I was like, whoa, it's sold. Huh? So I'm definitely in the market. It's like I would get the SG, but I got to talk with Aljon and see what's going on. I don't want to run out and get an SG and have him say, dude, I was working on that. What are you doing? You know, I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? It's like the last time I had heard, he had a couple of people working on it, and so I don't want to just run out and buy one because he's going to be like, what are you doing? I'm trying to help you with this, right? So the SG is sort of on hold until I sort of hear what's going on in that camp. But the LP is still definitely on the table, especially now that I sold my other one. Yeah, the RAM and CPU is quite ridiculous, right? I know, right? Surprisingly, Fender prices have dropped in Canada. Oh, interesting. Wow. Interesting. Oh, right, because of the exchange rate. That'll do it. My parents were very, very lucky. They happened to sell some property they owned up in Canada right around the time where the Canadian dollar was really strong against the U.S. dollar. It was damn near 1-to-1 transfer ratio. I mean, they were bracing for a big loss, you know, but they dragged their feet so friggin' long getting the thing on the market and finally sold that the exchange rate came damn near 1-to-1, right? And then it for a little while, the dollar and the Canadian dollar was actually worth a little more than the American dollar, and then now it's all back to normal again, as far as I know. Which is that the American dollar is a little stronger than that, right? It's always like $1.20 Canadian to $1 American or something like that. My grandfather was Canadian, so he spent a lot of time up in New Brunswick when I was young. Yeah, right? The AMD 5700. Anything that's big Navi, any big Navi card, right? Any 6000 series card, through the roof. Everybody's trying to gouge. Right? You might as well. It'd be easier right now to get a PS5 than to some of that, stuff. It really would. Now the Schecter I got used, and I'm gonna send her back. I was so stoked he threw the case in. It's a wooden Roadrunner case. It wasn't listed with a case. And then when I got it, I said, oh my God, I think there's a case in here because you can almost feel it on the box, And I opened it up. I go, oh, look at you giving me the free wooden case. But it's going to go back with the case. We're in New Brunswick, just outside of Moncton, in a little town called Berry Mills. Yeah, Green Meanie, that guitar had a couple things that really annoyed me. The neck was okay on it. I didn't mind the neck on it. But the knobs had come loose. And I put that in the ad when I sold it. I said, now, full disclosure, these knobs have a tiny bit of play in it. And it is a tiny bit, but it was just enough to annoy me. And if you know anything about those LPs, when you open up the back, it's a giant PCB board, right? It's a very complicated system. And I said, I'm not doing this. I'm not going to spend all this time doing that. And I really want a gold top, right? And I kind of really want like a 60s LP, which that wasn't. That one had, I think, a little bit thicker neck. And I didn't even realize how thick it was until Bobby came over with this. He has a custom classic, and that has what he called the slim taper neck. Now, mine was listed as a slim taper, but come to find out it was like some sort of like asymmetrical neck. I don't know. Gibson has all kinds of... You could fill an encyclopedia with what I don't know about Gibson. And so I just comparing the neck, I was like, God, I like his neck better. Maybe that's the neck on the Classic. Maybe that's the thin neck I like is on the Gibson Classic. But now I'm gonna get another LP that I think is gonna be maybe a little bit more in line with what I like, and hopefully won't have play in the knobs. The play in the knobs just annoyed the piss out of me. Really, really did. No, I'm still holding off on the SG. I'm waiting to hear from people, but it's going to happen. It's going to happen. I tell you, I almost picked one up recently, but actually sold pretty quickly. Again, Guitar Center used. They had one, and it was the 61 reissue, and it was in ebony, and it was only like $10.99, which is good for the 61 reissue, especially because that's $19.99 versus $14.99. It's a $500 extra guitar to get the 61 reissue versus the, right? So I was all over it, but it had sold. And what's the worst one of all is when they let you add it, right? It sold so soon before you got it that the system will let you add it to your cart and begin the checkout process. And then in checkout, it says, nope, can't do it. That item has been removed to your cart due to lack of availability. And I'm like, oh, you're killing me. Yeah, the SG Classic has a good neck. Yeah. So, a buck gets you like 64 cents Canadian. Oh, no, that doesn't sound good. Oh, no, right. A Canadian dollar gets you about 64 cents American. That sounds right. Yeah, right, Jack. I get you. I know what you're saying. Buy a guitar, make a video, return a guitar, repeat sounds. Oh no, I don't like to return guitars unless I absolutely have to. I'm not going to accept a guitar with a defect just because I made a video about it. No. But here's the thing. If you keep buying guitars and returning them, they're not going to sell you guitars anymore. And they're pretty, upfront about that. But, I looked back. I've purchased a lot of guitars from Guitar Center. And I've returned, I think, fewer than 10%. So, they're good. They're fine. Just picked up Sun Valley about an hour ago. Great neck, right? I love the neck on this guitar. Just amazing. Wonderful. Again, I like the guitar. I just don't like this exact guitar. Because it's got a giant crack on the front of the fretboard. Maybe it's me, but that's where I draw the line. So I think in the short term, I'm going like LP. That's really what I've been looking for. Bobby's been helping me. He sends me some listings. You see this? I'm like, oh, dude, I saw everything today. Nothing looks good. We sort of hemmed and hawed about one, and it was just one of those ones where you could kind of see that the picture was kind of crappy. And he's like, I'll bet that top is like really gorgeous in person. I'm like, you know what? It probably is. I know what you're saying. You could kind of see like it probably did look good in person, but God, it looked terrible. Not terrible, but it didn't look particularly great in the photo. And it was a little bland. And I was just like, meh. I'll know it when I see it, and then I'll buy it. I know I've been to Axe Palace. That's like 5 miles from here. Maybe 8. Yeah, exactly. You're absolutely right. A non-working truss rod and a crack in the neck. I mean, can we have some standards? Right? Is it me? Is it me? My little too like right? Because you want a whole neck without a crack in it, Your Highness? You know? Uh, I thought maybe. I don't know. Truss rod is kind of a big deal. Yeah, I agree. Have you seen the new Sun Valley Super Shredder Exotic? I think so. Is that a single, double? Let's, I feel like that's Ibby. There we go. Schecter, Sun Valley Super Shredder. Well, that's the 3. Is that it? No. Is there a new one? Can I just go up to new? What do you got? Oh, not really. Not really seeing it there. It's funny because I did see some interesting placeholders for the Sun Valley Super Shredder. Let me check back here. Fender Exotic, huh? I'm not seeing it. Although I will say, where was I? Was it American Musical? Was it here? Sun Valley Super Shredder. Was it them? No. Was it AMS? AMS Music? That's the same thing. So who had it? Somebody had it, and they had these new colors, and I was like, what the hell was that color? I had never seen it before. Was it here? No. They're all show. Those are all the original ones. You know? Oh, it's on Sweetwater's side? Okay. Because somebody had these new colors up, but they were only placeholders. In other words, you couldn't actually see the car. Oh, thanks, Guitar Works. SH Guitar Works. Thanks, man. Much appreciated. Let me see here. Sun Valley Super Shredder. All right. Oh. Oh, I see, like a natural. Oh, look at you with the rings and the ringy dings. Look at that. Oh wow, and oh yeah, it's almost like a marriage of that neck. Looks like it's straight off the Nick Johnson model, right? Was that a Wenge? What do you got? Wenge? What is it? A Wenge? Oh yeah. Right there. Wenge. Hold on, let me just wenge this in. There's another one. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. With this natural Zercoat. Oh, yeah. In the Wenge. Look at that. But see, I kind of need the Sustainiac. Without the Sustainiac, I mean, it's just a super strat. But I like it. Interesting. See, I saw another one, and they had like placeholders for all these other colors. I was like, geez, who's? But they wouldn't light it when you clicked on it. They were like, photo not available, photo not available. I was like, that's weird. Oh, thanks. Just sharing the love. Got the prototype for short money. I just think that is short money for a prototype, without a doubt. Especially right now. Especially right now, it's really hard. Recently bought a Charvel Pro Mod SoCal. Those are great guitars. I have the Sandemus. The neck is going to be a little, I swear to God, it's a little smaller than the Charvel. Yeah. In fact, this neck is a tiny bit, I would say it's closer, if anything, to that green meanie that I had a couple of weeks ago. That's got a slightly thinner neck, too. I swear this is even thinner, though. I mean, look at my thumb wrap on that. That's, it is a small, this is a small neck, man. I love it. I love it. And this is just a thin. They make an ultra thin. Do I dare? You're going to cut yourself on it. I think the Charvel has a better trim. It might. Although, this is going to have the special. And I think the Charvel is going to have the 1000. So that probably is a little bit better trim. But then the model up from this, which I forget the name of it, but has the Sustainiac, but it's neck through. That has the Floyd Rose 1500, which is actually even a little bit nicer than the other one. So, this is pretty good. Lots of choices out there. I didn't know much about really Schecter at all, and I bought this on a just a whim last Saturday, like after the live show. I was kind of checking it out that night, and I said, "Oh yeah, I'll order this up. This looks good," because it was I had been looking for a while. I wanted one with the Sustainiac. I've been looking for a while, and I wanted this color, and all of a sudden there it was. And the right color, $250 less than retail. I was like, sign me up. But sadly, it's going to go back close to Ibanez Wizard. Not quite Wizard. Wizard is still the thinnest neck out there, especially those late 80s, those early year Wizards. But still, though, man, such a nice round neck on this. It's so nice, and it's so small. Great neck. I definitely have to own one of these. This particular one will go back, but I'm going to get another one. And I think, I think I'm still going blue. I mean, it's either green, the blue, or the white. I think the blue looks the best. Kind of like the blue. Yeah, that green just looks really bright. And like this, look how bright my guitar looks in the room compared to that image on the screen, right? They really get that image like darker, which looks like how the guitar looks in the room. But look how it looks on camera, right? This camera always brightens guitars up, makes them look lighter than they are in person. So can you imagine me putting this up? You know, you guys will have to wear sunglasses. It's like, it'd just be brutal. No. The correct answer is blue. You know, you'll get partial points for any other answer, but this is the only answer to get all the points. Hey, what's up, Robert Baker? Why are you sending it back? Because it has a cracked fretboard and a frozen truss rod. Can't turn the truss rod. And there's a crack starting at the bottom of and it goes up. Let me see. It goes up to this fret right here. So from here down, there's a crack. Crackola. This guitar has a crack problem. What's cool is this little magnetic, right? It's just a little, see that? It's like this little magnetic holder thing that loosens this up. Buzz Wilson, thanks, buddy. Yeah, Paul says demonetized, I know. What's up, Buzz? How you doing, buddy? Nugent had a local auction here in Waco, Texas, where he sold two Les Pauls, a 58 that went for $275 and a 59 that went for $300,000. Seems excessive. I don't know. I looked at a 59 Les Paul that had a neck headstock repair in Germany, and that was like almost 300,000 euros, which is more than $300,000. And it had a headstock repair, and he said without the headstock repair, it'd be closer to like 450. I was like, really? It feels high. They had a 59 Les Paul that was gorgeous. I don't know how real it was, on Guitar Center used for $115,000. Oh, and I don't know if I mentioned this to you. Check this out. Hold on. Did I go there? Check this out. Check this out. That's PRS sorted by price. You notice anything? Right? Keeps going down in price. You notice anything? Yeah, right, Larry? Yeah, yeah. Somebody bought that double neck. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? The double neck sold $14,000 and it is gone. Ah. Oh, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. And I think it's pretty recent because I think just even a week ago it was still up there. So is this the flip-flop paint one? Yeah. That's Flippy the flip-flop paint one. Yeah, look at that. $5,000. Getting $5,000 for him now. Isn't that crazy? Although you would have to admit, if I showed up here next week with that goddamn double neck, you would all shit yourselves, all right? I'm just saying. But don't, I did not spend $14,000. I would need a lot more government cheese to drop $14K. They don't have a lot of guitars. Most of them are above $2,000. And it sort of quickly drops off. You know, oh, God, as soon as you look at something, you lose your... Yeah, they are all on one page. They have 74 total guitars. They usually, like a couple of years ago, that'd be like 300, 350. They're down at 75, under 75. It's just amazing to me how little stock they have right now for guitars. It's like shockingly low. Nothing really jumping out at me. I mean, the 20th anniversary, no. And you'll see, let me see if I can show you one here. No, that's not a good one. You might see it here. Is this one? Yeah. All right. PRS Custom 24, right? Is it, though? Is it? Is that a Custom 24? First of all, that's a goddamn single cut, all right? So that what does that have to do with anything? But that top right there, that's S2 all day long. That's S2. Right, that flat cut. And they do that a bunch of times. Here's another one. Here's a Custom 24. Is it, though? You calling that a Custom 24? It's not a Custom 24. It is, but it's the S2 version. You see what I'm saying? Right? Is it me? Is it me? Or is it like... There's no way that that's a Custom 24, right? That's really a Custom 24 S2, which is cool, but at $1,769, it's really not that great of a deal. You know, again, here's another quote-unquote Custom 24, and then I look at it and I go, yeah, but you're an S2. You're right, you're not really a Custom 24. You're an S2. Look at that line. Another one, right? So, and what you don't realize is that the S2 uses like imported hardware and parts. I think the S2, I don't think they use the same bridges as the USA models, and they certainly don't use the same pickups. You know, or the tuners are imported. There's a whole bunch of stuff that's not quite the same with the S2. See, at least this one they say it's an S2 594. That's correct. They say that's a CE24. That does look like a CE24. Again, S2. So at least they're saying it's an S2 there. I don't think they have a DGT, Robert. Again, I don't mean to be mean to them, but that's a goddamn S2. All right? That's an S2 all day long. You see this carve right there? That's S2, baby. That's S2. And it's $500 over what a brand new S2 costs. So, oh, wow. Okay. Oh, look at this. You seeing this? PRS S2 McCartney 594. Oh, you don't say. It's an S2, huh? We'll sell at $1,470. Well, why don't you just update the price, because I don't want to show $1,000 off. Or they may not even be able to enter $1,000 off. You know? It's just like, Steve, hold on. How many good deals did you get? Oh, no. Oh, yeah, no. But see, the misjudgment has to work in my favor, not their favor, right? I mean, get on the winning team here. But like, I see this over and over again in the last, like, say, 6 months. I'm seeing like a lot of S2s, thrown up as, I'm not seeing a DGT. You see? Oh, there's a DGT. Oddest package, too. I'm an oddest. Single cut. Oh, DGT Wood Library. Let's look at this. There's the DGT. It's a goddamn S2. No, I'm kidding. Oh, yeah, and you can tell that. Is this the Brazilian one? Because you see that little line down the middle there that usually says, like, for only in the United States, which basically means it has a wood that can't be exported. Not crazy about that top, though. For $3,500. Oh, my God. Who's programming this goddamn site? I mean, really? Really? I mean, what the hell is this, okay? There's the term too much white space. I mean, seriously. It's like when someone posts something on Facebook and you click on it and it's a tiny little postage stamp. That actually does look like a pretty nice top. That's down in South Bend, Indiana. Well, they could use the money to buy a new camera. Yeah, exactly. 1997 graphics. I shot it with my Samsung Blackjack from 2007. That's not bad. CE24 semi. Yeah. Looks good. Tempest green is kind of weird. Sometimes it really looks sick, and other times it can look really washed. Kind of a funny color. Highly inconsistent. I've seen some that are just absolutely sick. It has a cracked neck. They don't want you to zoom in. Landon, you're the level-headed friend I needed before I ordered this guitar. Am I out of coffee? I'm out of coffee. God damn it. All right. Look at the Les Pauls. Let's clear the brand. let's stick with electric guitars. Let's go Gibson. Let's go low to high, and we'll pop 90 on a page. Here we go. No, no, no. Garbage. No, no. Oh, maybe. No. This is nice. This is a 91 in blue. You see that? And it's got the half one. That's actually a really decent guitar. Site map. You can't see it, but you just... Oh, oops, this page doesn't exist. You just got site mapped. That's what happens. You see a nice guitar, and you're like, oh, that was site mapped. There's the 61. There was another 61 on here that looked pretty sick. It might have been this one. It was a little darker. Oh my God. You see what I'm dealing with here, people? When the thumbnail is bigger. But that's like the dark red, but I don't want red. I want black. I've already made my decision on that. I'm going ebony. Unless I see something that really catches my eye. There's a gold top, but it's an 09. Feels a little risky. I'd rather have something a little newer. At least it has a full-size photo. I'll give him that. Pretty horrible photo, though. And I like the darker back. Where's my, like, walnut? This is more like, you know, light back. I like the, you know, darker. So picky. Oh, looks pretty good. Yeah, nothing really jumping out. No. Oh. Huh. Oh. Huh. That's new. Kind of nice. Could live with that top. It's pretty good. I'm a little speechless. That's kind of nice, huh? And they say it's a 2020. How's that possible? In Honeyburst, I thought by 2020 they went to the original series, and that definitely has 50 style. You know, it has like 50 style tuners, which is a little weird. And 50 style knobs. It doesn't have the silver tops, right? The silver caps. So is this before? Is this like February, right? Is this early 2020? Geez, that's a little odd, huh? Right, again, there's the vintage style tuner. That is, it's a good looking guitar right there. I love the very consistent top, and it has a chevron, you know what I'm saying? In other words, it's slightly angled. That nice, like, chevron look to it. Huh. Huh. You know, it's like when I bring this back tomorrow, I would already have a pretty good You know, I'll get back, the 550 I paid down on this, and then that guitar's a regular bargain. Right? It's already money under the bridge, right? I wonder what growth the years represent for flames. The flames aren't growth. The flames, believe it or not, are the weight of the maple tree leaning to one side, and it's compression. That's compression, right? Literally, it's so heavy that as it leans to one side gets a little compressed, a little squished. That's flame maple. That's kind of cool. Those are compression lines. How come I'm bringing this back? Because it has a cracked fretboard and a frozen truss rod. That'll do it. Buy it, make a video, return it. Well, that feels a little low. I don't like to buy guitars that I'm planning on returning when I'm getting them. No. I would get it and keep it. I don't feel the need to. I don't feel the need to bring it back. Did I just screw my? I better make sure I don't. Right? Oh yeah, there we go. I want to fill up at the chevron, exactly. Do I own a Core PRS? No, I own a CE, which I don't think is part of the Core line. I have a CE. 24, but it's a special one with an ebony fretboard and a special top and all that. I only paid $12.99 for that. You imagine me trying to get that deal right now? Never happen. That guitar would be $18.99. Exactly, a frozen fretboard and a cracked truss rod. I think Bird's Eye is from a maple burl. Bird's Eye is actually a series of small knots that never quite take shape. And Bird's Eye maple, unlike flame maple, which is fine, Bird's Eye maple, actually you lose strength. It gets more brittle. And because of all the bird's eyes, you do lose a little bit of strength. It's fine for an electric guitar. It's not a problem. But you won't see a lot of bird's eye maple basses. Right? Then it gets a little too much. Yeah, bird's eye maple is a weird thing. When I worked at this office, they had an office at 1776 I Street, which I'm pretty sure you could look at. It was on the corner. You could look down and see the White House in Washington, D.C. And I remember they had just done a renovation. It was my first time in there. And I remember walking in the whole office as you walked in, they had just put up all this sick, bird's eye maple. I go, oh, you went with the bird's eye maple? He's like, you know bird's eye maple? I'm like, I'm a guitar player. I know bird's eye maple. He's like, yeah, bird's eye, yeah. They brought in an interior designer, and there was no bill too high. I can just imagine the money they spent on that place. Just insane. with flames and bird's eye. Yeah, one of my select strats was really bird's eye hard. I loved it, and had a bunch of flames too. Like one of my favorite necks ever. The one I have now, I traded that for the Les Paul that I just sold. But the one I have now isn't quite. It has a better top. I think the top is more consistent, but the bird's eyes on the neck aren't nearly as crazy as what I had in that prior one. But whatever. You don't see the back of the neck. You do see the front, and I do think the top on the new one is a little more consistent. Metallica, Metallica sort of came after my... Gotta remember, when Metallica's big album came out, I was 26. Right? I know. You learn riffs from the store, but... That was the one that used to kill us. God, every kid was playing that. It was that for the longest time. And then that wore out, and then it was, that was the riff. God, for years. It's so funny because when I talk to people, I'm like, yeah, Metallica got famous, after I stopped really listening to metal. And they're like, Metallica's one of the oldest metal bands. I'm like, not really. Not really. Metallica didn't really hit it big until about 1987, 1988. That's pretty late in the metal. Metal was big. Blizzard of Oz came out in 1980. Heaven and Hell came out in 1979. Right? That's 78, 79, 80, all the way through to about 85. And then it got really, then your Poisons took over, right? It really got glam. It really got, they were pretty much signing any band they could. You had a whole bunch of just sort of like mediocre bands, that really didn't go anywhere. And I tell you, the one who really survived that era and kept going was Bon Jovi. One of the few sort of hair bands that just kept going. I saw Iron Maiden on the Peace of Mind tour. Think about that. In summer of '83. Yeah, Zercoat. That's a nice wood. Although sometimes it can be a little over the top. Doesn't look right in all situations, but in the right situations, it looks amazing. No, I tell you, their big album was the one that had the song One on it. Which album had the song One on it? Because before that, they couldn't get played on the radio. When the song One came out, all of a sudden they were on the radio. And quite a bit. That was their big push, the song One. And then after that, it was really, Enter Sandman. And that was huge. That was huge. How do you rationalize buying Indonesian Bangladesh cheap labor guitar for the same price as a Mem Charvel? Because they save on the labor. They're probably putting better quality parts in it now, aren't they? Because it's a better guitar. Indonesia's putting out amazing stuff. And Justice for All, yeah. The one with no bass, yeah. Yeah, Warrant 1990. I feel bad for that guy, right? He passed away, right, from probably from excessive drinking, because he was trying to be a serious guy, and they went with the song that he threw together as a last minute like filler song, and they loved it so much they named the album after it against his wishes. It's like he had no control. It really. And he knew it. He's like, I'm going to be known as the goddamn cherry pie guy. He's like, I don't want that. He's like, this is a throwaway garbage song. Yeah, he was. I felt, who was that? Janie Lane was the guy's name. I always felt bad for that dude. Felt like he was pretty much the poster child for getting screwed over by the record label. Cherry Pie was written with C.C. DeVille of Poison. Oh my God. There you go. CC's like, I'll cash the check. EV8 said he loved playing live because management couldn't be in his way, right? I know what you're saying, right? Yeah. That's where they have the greatest freedom, in the live shows. I'm sure he cashed the cherry pie checks, but it looked like he spent his money on alcohol. Do I own a Jackson? No, and I tried to buy a Jackson. There was a wonderful, and again, it would very typical of me. It would say one of those, was it Adrian Smith? You know, basically a Strat, pretty much. And I'm hearing someone walking around up there. And they had replaced the pickups out with Duncans. It looked nice. Man, but again, it's sold. You click on it, I got site mapped. Died at 47, had 2 kids. Yeah. It was pretty much like a sob story. Yeah, it wasn't a good story. Queensryche, yeah, Queensryche. I go and see a buddy of mine plays for Jeff Tate with Operation Mindcrime, and I've seen them like a couple of times. They're great. And you know, I forgot about was it Jet City Girls or Jet City something? It's such a I forgot about that song. I was like, oh right, this was a hit too. This is a pretty big hit. And then of course Silent Lucidity, which was their mega hit. Oh, really? The guitar solo was CC. Interesting. Thoughts on Music Man guitars? Great stuff. I love the flames, too. Like, a lot of their stuff has the roasted flame. I think that looks amazing. Yeah, MTV. Jet City Woman. Yeah. Jet City Girls. It's Jet City something. Jet City Woman. Jet City Girls. I'm just saying that. That could be one of the rewrites. Vietnam too cranking, especially after the guitar market. It's funny. I was just talking to somebody about that, and they're like, I got a couple of Harley Bentons, and they were pretty rough. They needed work. And I was like, just out of curiosity, were they made in Indonesia? He's like, no, one's Vietnam and one is China. I'm like, see, that's so interesting. Because it's like a couple of mine that had come from China. I don't think I have one from Vietnam, but I think one of them or two of them from China. I know what he's saying. Like there was some like imperfections like all over the place, a little here and there. But the three I have from Indonesia, which are the Amarok and the new SC550, and I want to say the Fusion 2, those are all Indonesian. Just better fit and finish from head to toe, right? Whatever factory, I'm just going to assume it's Court. They're doing good work. They're putting out really good products. The only other one I would think it might be, it'd be Samick, because does Samick have an Indonesian plant as well, or is Samick 100% Korean? I don't really know. When Harley Benton's developed a lot of fret sprout. Yeah, I had a Fender Mexican made 50s reissue. I have another one that was made in Japan. The one made in Japan, I've never had fret sprout ever. I bought that brand new in 1989 or 1990. The other one was from, I want to say, 2002 or 2003. It was in Daphne Blue. And that had fret sprout like crazy. Like really, and of course, because it's got a lacquered, unlike this where you can just run a, file down the side and then sand it like nice and clean. It's lacquered, right? Or it's polyurethane. Now what are you going to do? You're going to rip it all down to raw wood? You're not doing that. Now you got to take each one individually. It was a pain. I wound up selling it off. Again, same thing. Like just in the wintertime, they would shrink down like crazy. And I think the only way to really solve it, I sold the guitar in the summer for that very reason. Said, we'll sell this one in July or August when it's nice and humid around here. Yeah, BC Rich Platinum from 89, no fret sprout. I got a bunch of guitars that never had fret sprout. Seems to be more of an issue like in the last maybe 20 years or so. It's like all you got to do is just cut it back a little bit. These are cut back. These are just these are literally pushing the ebony out the side a little bit. These are under the ebony, and the ebony is pretty much getting shoved out at every little spot here. Yeah, no, we have to worry about it. Yeah, your humidity never drops below 50%. Our humidity around here is like in the single digits because it's You know, just that time of year where we get super, super dry. The best guitar tech in Boston is Mark Herbert in Brookline. He's, in fact, he's right. He's pretty close to the Jamaica Way. I forget. He might be on Brookline Ave. I think right now, but Mark Herbert, he's your best guy. He's not cheap, but he is your best guy without a doubt. He's the only one I would bring like a vintage instrument to or anything like that. He's pretty much the master. Another guy who's got a ton of work and a ton of experience, but probably is a little bit more rushed and is like a quicker guy, would be Wolf at MISC, the Musical Instrument Service Center. Again, he's got the skills, but he'll charge you less money, but he'll spend less time on it. Mark will charge you more money, but he's going to spend more time on it. He replaced a couple of frets. I was like, oh my God, you never would have known the fret had been just perfect. I was like, oh my God, what guy's good work. Really, really good work. See you, John. See you, Cushman. Remember the band Tribe? Trying to think. Tribe. When I think of early 80s, I think of like the Atlantics and Balloon, right? And there's so many. How many other bands? There was a bunch of bands back then. The Drive, of course. The Lines. I think the Lines became the Drive. Then it became the Swinging Stakes, I think. Go catch a show at Bunratty's or the Channel. They're all gone. I think Sophia's is still there, and the Middle Eastern might still be there, but that's in Cambridge. In Boston, I don't know if there's any clubs left. I don't remember Tribe. The woman was a singer with a hit song, Super Collider. I'll look it up. I don't know if Bill's Bar is still there. Again, I think that's one. I think Bill's Bar might have closed. It could be still there. I don't know though. So many have closed. The Beachcomber's gone down on Wollaston Beach. Johnny D's Uptown closed. The Channel's long gone. The only one left really is the Paradise. Paradise is still going. Trying to think of who else is still going. I think they're all gone. The House of Blues is still going on Lansdowne Street. And a lot of people are booking the Wilbur. I guess the Wilbur has taken up a lot of, like, from what the Channel, like you would go see Joe Satriani at, like, the Channel. Now you'd go see him at, like, the Wilbur, or, like, the Wilbur Theater. Yeah, TT the Bears is gone. Yeah, wow, there's so many that are gone. Jonathan Swift's is gone. Oh my God, what was the one that was like, What was the jazz club in Inman Square? Riles. I think Riles is gone. I'm trying to think. And there was a yeah, Avalon, but Avalon just became Avalon just became the House of Blues. It's that venue is still going for live music. It's just under a different name because the House of Blues moved out of Cambridge, which was a tiny place in Cambridge, and they moved out of Cambridge and moved into Boston, and they moved into that big, venue, which is, I believe, the largest House of Blues in all of the United States. It's a 2,500 person occupancy, which is pretty big. Yeah, Scullers, the Rathskeller, and then across from the Rathskeller was Lipstick and Celebrations, and I guess it was Avalon, right? Was that or Narcissus? Narcissus, right? What was the name? Narcissus, right? That was in Kenmore Square, across from the Rat. So across from the Rat in Kenmore Square, by like the BU Book Club, the BU Bookstore, I want to say there was the Rat on one side, and on the opposite side, I was lucky enough to actually go and see a show with the Rat. And a bunch of the Paradise is still there, but the Rat's long gone. Yeah, the Rat, and then of course Bunratty's. Wow, they're all gone. It's just amazing how live music has just really dried up. Your brother saw the Police and later U2 at the Rat. The Police did a show at the Rat that a friend of mine was at. It was a snowstorm. There was nobody there. They were livid. They pretty much hung out at the bar and drank and went up and played a couple of songs and sit back in the bar. He said it was me and the Police and maybe two other people. I was like, that sounds like a good show. Yeah, the Galaxy was awesome, but now it's a fish store, right? Yeah, that's what happens. I'm pretty sure the channel is now a parking lot. It's worth more as a parking lot. Yeah, Local 186. There's another one. Yeah. See you, Justin. Thanks for hanging out, buddy. Is the billboard still there behind the Green Monster for free ball games? I don't even know. That whole area changed when they built the stands up on the Green Monster. When they added those stands, the whole sort of look of the park changed. Right, it really did. The Citgo sign is still there, but they maybe it was 5 years ago or so they switched to all LED to save electricity. They spent like millions of dollars rehabbing that Citgo sign. Probably got some state money for that. I blame Aaron Smith for starting clubs closing with the stupid Mama Kin Club. I don't remember the Mama Kin Club, so it must have been a bit of a failure. Man, it is dry. Yeah, these are great guitars. This one has some condition issues, but the guitar itself they're great. Recommend Squire guitars from China, Japan, Korea, Indonesia. China depends on which one. So when it was the classic Vibe, those were good, but some of their other Chinese ones, I'm looking your way, Affinities, were just so, especially those Bullets. They were just meh. The Korean ones for Fender could also be kind of meh. Gotta remember the Korean ones are a little older. Those are sort of hit or miss too. I'd say the two best are going to be Japan or Korea. Or Indonesia. Some of the best Squires I've ever had have been some of those Indonesian ones, like those vintage modified series. Like they had a 70s. That guitar was amazingly good. I was like, oh my God. For $250. And then if you want to spend big money, you could just get, and I've had those in the past, the Japanese, Squires from the 80s. But those I think are a little bit more hype, at least in the minds of the sellers, than what they really were back in the 80s. They were great guitars, and they were like stunningly good. And a lot of people bought them and threw like EMGs in them and had these like crazy Squires. That was kind of a thing back then. But I think eventually they first of all they changed factories in Japan. They went from Fujigen to Dynagaki. And that you'll know when it changes because it goes from made in Japan to crafted in Japan. Crafted in Japan is Dynagaki. Made in Japan is Fujigen. And, it really depends on the lineup and when you get them. But I'm still putting Indonesia and Japan as the two best. And Korea can be good. It depends. We had some from Japan from Korea. They were just full-on plywood bodies. Those early 90s stuff were just horrendous. And then and we had some from India. Those were probably the worst ones we had. Those had big, giant baseball bat necks, like something you would see on like a $99 Harmony. But we had to get like $179 with a Squire name on it. My boss was livid. He's like, what are we going to do with these? I'm like, I know. These are pretty bad. So we've had some, it all goes by the line and when it was made, but I think that the vintage modified, now I've heard that they moved the classic vibes to Indonesia. I wouldn't doubt it, because Indonesia's been kicking ass lately. They really have. The Squire Bullet was made in Indonesia. I tell you, the one I had here, the Bullet I had here was really bad. It had those like friction, like plate covered backs. It was just awful. As you turn the key, it was like, I was like, oh my God, the fretboard wasn't rolled at all. It was like really sharp edged. Even this is nicely rolled. And certainly the one I had from Indonesia was the vintage modified was nice. So again, I think what it is it depends on the model you order. If you order a guitar where they're shaving off every last little nickel, think about this. The one thing I learned from hanging out with a lot of manufacturers, like TGU, is that for them to make money, for people to make money in the industry, right? They have to produce the product at 25% of its retail value. So if you have a guitar that sells for $99, $100, that manufacturer has to make that guitar from start to finish for $25. All right? So once you get so low, once you get to like, can you make a guitar for $50? I can make a guitar for $50 and we'll sell it for $200. Okay, can you make a guitar for $40? It's getting harder, and we can sell it for $160. Can you make a guitar for $30? It's getting harder. But I might be able to make a guitar for $30, and we'll sell it for $120. How about can you make a guitar for $25? And now they're like, listen, what can we cut out? Right? At $25, we got 15 in just metal that we've got to buy. How cheap can they get those bridges and those tuners? Right? So just you think about that. Right? When you're saying like, how low can it go? Can't go that low. Hey, what's up, Aljon? Hey, Aljon, we were just looking at that. I'm just saying, just throwing it out there. Just saying, it's a bit of a looker. I could live with that. That's all I'm saying. I could live with that quite nicely. Nice, right? Yeah. Yeah, right? Is it me? I for one, think it's nice. Just saying, it kind of has one of those tops that you could, it's a fancy top. What Stevie recommend Epiphone? That's a different brand. He was saying Squire. Squire and Epiphone have this much to do with each other. They're completely different brands, completely different factories, completely different everything. Yeah, so how much does a Glary guitar cost to make? $15? Yeah, you could be about right. That sounds about right. What you will find is that some people, if they can't go through like a distribution channel and they're going direct, like a Glary, like where they sell direct, then they could spend a little bit more on the production of the guitar because they're cutting out like middle, people who have to pad it up on the middle. But yeah, no, it's a thing. You also have to think of the guitar you build is befitting of the brand. Well, there you go. Does your LP look like that, Ron? Yeah, with the nice flame top like that. I tell you, it's a looker. I could see myself in a guitar like that. Just saying. You can make everything out of high quality cardboard. What's that, Masonite? Isn't it Masonite, the high quality cardboard? All right, dudes. Well, it's 9:05, which means that I probably have to go. Aljon, maybe we'll touch base this week, buddy, if you're around. I'll give you a call this week. I was waiting for the holidays to go over. And happy Easter to everybody who celebrates Easter. We got a ham ready to go. Picked it up from Costco, and it should be fun. Yeah, happy Easter, guys. Yeah. So Masonite is the secret to Dan Electro. That's one, right? Yeah, Masonite. Exactly. All right, dudes. Well, I will see you guys in a week. Yeah, Aljon. Yeah. I'll not tomorrow, obviously. Maybe Monday or Tuesday, or I'll give you a ring. We'll touch base. But yeah. So take a good long look because it's going back. This is. I was just thinking I'll bring it back tomorrow. I'm like, isn't tomorrow Easter? You're gonna bring that back on Easter, and I'm probably gonna bring it back on Monday. But you know what? I would get another one. If it wasn't for the the structural issues with this particular guitar. I like the Schecter. I like the neck. I like the feel. I like the whole thing. I could go Schecter. Yeah, I could go Schecter. Absolutely. And then maybe if I bring this back, if this hasn't sold, I'm not making any promises, but crazier things have happened. Right. If I got the taxes this week, especially. That is a good looking top though, isn't it? Very good looking top. And it's got the vintage tuners, which I like. Just saying. I'm just throwing that out there. All right, dudes. Have a wonderful night. Have a wonderful Easter. Have a wonderful week. I'll be having some videos out this week. And I'll see you in a week. No, you rock. All right. Now I'm really ending it. How long have I been going? 2 hours and 10 minutes. Why, I oughta. Yeah, I can go LP, right? Sure, you can go LP. Why can't you go LP? Everyone can go LP. You can always go LP, right? All right, dudes, there you have it. Super extra thanks to my mods for modding tonight. Super extra thanks to anyone who contributed tonight. Super appreciated. And let's go buy this LP. I mean, let's have a wonderful Easter. All right. I'll see you in a week. Rock on.